$1,000 a year with a master's degree, you tend to want to marry a black man on that same level or higher. If black women are excelling at such an accelerated rate, how do men keep up with that? Black women are running circles around men.
Right. Steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability, you don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from.
Damn it, man. Why can't y'all get it? We can say what we want to say, but we ain't got to accept, well, shit, I ain't know no better. I went up to out here. Damn, what you knew better? That's another problem. You keep pushing for matriarchy, but you don't know no better because ain't no patriarchy out here teaching y'all nothing. In a patriarchy, it would not be acceptable for you to be out here freaking out with all these different men in your younger years, going from man to man to man. So the problem isn't that American women are anything other than raised in a matriarchy.
What do you think the challenge is that women are having, black women in particular, when it becomes to becoming a wife?
Keeping it 100,
yes.
There's not enough eligible black males who fit the needs of black women. By the time you dissect the demographics of finances, sexual orientation, what you end up drilling down into, because black women tend to want to marry black men.
Right.
So black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
Right.
And it's also shown in research that women want to marry on their same level of financial and educational status.
Yeah.
So if you're a black woman making $150,000 a year with a master's degree, you tend to want to marry a black man on that same level or higher. If black women are excelling at such an accelerated rate, how do men keep up with that?
When you have a society that promotes that women pursue lives that are traditionally and perennially men's lives, it turns them into something that they can't recover from. A woman who spends her life pursuing higher education and getting all of these accolades in exchange for this debt. Here's the thing, man. Why? It doesn't even make sense for a woman to say, okay, I'm going to get in all of this debt so I can get this education so I can go out here and compete in a world that I really can't compete in. They don't understand that the only reason they're able to compete in the corporate world is because more of us are becoming entrepreneurs. More of us are becoming entrepreneurs. If we were all head first into the workforce, into corporate America, if we wanted that life, there wouldn't be any space for them. They believe that they're so strong that they're taking over corporate America. No. Men have started to understand that I would rather be my own boss. It's better for me to be my own boss and make $100,000 a year than to be somebody else's puppy dog to make $200,000 a year. A woman don't know what is her mindset is just to make more money. Ooh, I make more money. I make more money. In her brain, in her spirit, she's subservient. So she has no problem working in corporate America her entire damn life to make her money. But they don't seem to understand this. And they don't manage money well. Let me tell y'all something. When I was making $100K a year, just right tipped over into it, I was dealing with a chick that made $250,000 a year. My net worth was higher than hers. I had way less debt than she had. And she seemed to be living check to check. And then she blew a huge bag. I'm talking about bankrupted herself damn near on an idea that never made sense in the first place. But see, here's the thing about me. There's a position in my life. If you don't fit it, that don't mean I won't deal with you. That means that you won't get to that position. In that position, I care about what happens to your ass. In that position, I try to give you some insight. In that position, I'll govern your movements and govern your actions to keep you from making dumb decisions. But if you're not in that position, just some woman I'm dealing with, just some woman that's on the team that's coming through, man, do something strange, or hang out with me, or chill, or we just kick it, man. I go down, she cook for my man. If you don't make it to that position, I don't give a shit what happened to you. That's a wife position. Me caring about you and what happens to you, that's some shit I do for wifey. If you don't make it into the wifey position, I'll let you give it, I'll let you spend everything you got and be homeless. It ain't my responsibility. We live in a society that tells women that men are so weak that men are just going to look out for you just because we beta male cell manginas. Like any man, a man who you ain't giving nothing to, man ain't getting nothing from you. You ain't contributing nothing to his life. He's just supposed to look out for you and make sure you don't make good decisions. Make sure you do make good decisions. That's crazy. At what point in society, man, was that a realistic expectation? It's never been a realistic expectation. So many of you men out here in relationships right now with a woman, listen to nothing you say, a woman who don't take heed to no word you give her, a woman who will not shut up and listen to you, a woman who will not obey you, a woman who will do whatever she wants to do, and then look at you like she has power over you in a relationship. And you'll sit and accept that. Man, let me tell you something. Many of you men who have wives should have been divorced 2 years ago. And even more if you should have never married the broad you got right now, because she ain't no wife. Marrying a scallywag don't make her a wife. It makes her a scallywag with a ring from a simp. I say again, marrying a scallywag does not make her a wife. It makes her a scallywag with a ring from a simp. And another thing, man, you a fool to take on a woman with student loan debt. You're a fool to take on a woman with student loan debt. Whether you have your own or not, especially if you got your own. If you're a man that went to college, you got your own student loan debt, you crazy as hell. You do not take on a woman who has debt. Because a woman who has debt comes from her terrible decision making with money. It comes from terrible financial decisions. So that's something that no man should take on. If a woman want to be in that position in your life, she gotta have her own debt taken care of. Because I promise you, if you invite a woman into your world in that position and she's got a ton of debt, you're going to end up with some debt dealing with that woman. I promise you. It's an energy thing. It's going to drain your finances. Whatever her energy is, whatever's going on in her life that's draining her finances, it's going to drain yours too. And y'all got to keep that in mind, man. That's the main thing. To get debt free, you got to pay your debt off. That's the only way to get debt free. You got to pay it off. So if you got debt, man, you built up as you, man, you got to dedicate a time frame, a specific time frame to going as hard as you can to get the money to pay off your debt. The only debt a man should have is debt that he uses to create income. But I could not imagine, I'm just going to be honest with y'all, man. I could not imagine being in $250,000, $500,000 worth of debt for something that ain't making me no money. And I'm gonna get 50 points on, man. Fuck them 50 points on that credit score, man. You hear women say, well, I want his credit score to be 800. Man, let me tell you something. If you spend your life spinning your wheels, man, worrying about having an 800 credit score, your credit score will always be low. Don't worry about having a credit score. Worry about keeping your debt low and paying it on time. That's the key to the credit score. Keep your debt low, pay it on time. Don't get tied into anything that's going to cost that much. But that's the mindset that women have out here. Single women out here buying $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 cribs and then talking to you. Well, I just bought my house and blah. No, you didn't buy a house. Let me tell y'all something right now. Anything you buy, if you don't have the ownership papers to it, you didn't buy it. You are buying it. If you don't have the ownership papers, you ain't bought shit. You buying it. Until you get the ownership papers, the bank own your house. The bank own your car. You don't own nothing. There's a thing called a lien, L-I-E-N. If anybody has that on any of your properties or anything you got, guess what? Whoever has the lien owns the property. But we live in a society where people are telling me a bunch of crazy different things out here. But it's a female's mindset. Debt, constant debt, continual debt forever until you die is the mindset that modern women have. And if your ass married one who ain't got her mind right and wasn't raised by a masculine man, she's gonna drive you to have debt. Men have perfectly good homes out here, perfectly great homes. Marry a woman, man, get a bigger, more expensive home in a more expensive neighborhood with, with HOA fees that are exorbitant through the roof, property taxes high as hell. Then the crazy thing is, the woman divorced you, she get the house, your ass still got to pay the loan. Marriage has become a finesse game. That's what it's become. Because there is no patriarchy in this society. Anytime a patriarchy doesn't run things, then if you don't control women's actions, they're going to run wild. If you don't control their actions, they're going to run wild. I don't care who they are. They can say they're good and say they're sweet and say, but if you give them the leeway, they're not going to turn it down. They can't. They're not wired to turn down the leeway. They're not wired to turn down the opportunity to go and do something that they haven't done. They're not wired to do it. So even when you think you met a good girl, man, you never know how much of a struggle it is for her to keep that up. And that's the problem. If it's a struggle for her to be good, she's not good. She's bad. But she don't want nobody to know she's bad. She don't want to be viewed as bad. So she forces herself to be good. But it's stressing her out because she's living a life every day being somebody she's not, hoping to secure a husband. So when you meet a woman who's out here and she's been divorced 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And when I say divorce, I don't even mean legally married. If a woman's been in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100 relationships, every time one of those relationships ends, that's a marriage that's ended. If she was intimate with that man, that's a marriage that's ended. Some of these out here, man, been divorced 50 to 100 times. And you talking about that she worthy because she looked good? That's why I don't ever promote that you go out here and chase women and be with as many of them as you can. Any man who tells you that is a weak man. Any man who tells you that has had his masculinity drained from living that life. That's just the bottom line. If you believe that that's how you should live, you have no spiritual essence. You are a spiritually weak man. So you cannot allow yourself to live that life. Because as you're going out there being with those women, your energy is being drained as well. Then you wonder why you're confused about life. The energy you take in is the energy that will permeate your being. These women know that a real man is not going to deal with that I have power. I got some money, so I got power. We're not going to deal with that. And a woman would rather be with a man that she's financially superior to because she understands what financial superiority means. She knows what it means. And she don't want to buy into it. That's why I tell you right now, man, guys, they tell my man they want these, these career women, these successful women. What is a successful woman? A successful woman is a wife who's at home taking care of goddamn children, making sure her husband's situated at home. That's a successful woman. And she's got that 10 or 12-year window where she can fake it till she make it. And then she gets to that point where she hit that wall and that biological clock start ticking and she's out here talking about,
oh, well, I ain't got no children. I don't need no children. Well, I ain't got no children. I wish I would have had some. Well, I got some godchildren.
They out there being confused about it. Because at that point, they start to realize that they failed as a woman.